Welcome back to the channel. This is the Action Figure Grader. Thank you for tuning in. Today we're going to look at recent sales for the vintage collection. We've got a really nice assortment here. And as always, thank you to my Patreon supporters. Patreon.com/actionfiguregrader is where you can go to sign up to get early access to all my videos, as well as buy it now alerts for items on eBay for sale. Either make an offer, buy it now, or auctions. So I just try to keep you guys updated as to what's out there and what prices are looking like. And today we're going to focus on the vintage collection, as we usually do on Thursdays. We'll start off with Power Droid. Power Droid is a seller that we talk about all the time for the vintage collection, and he had some interesting sales here. This was an offerless Canadian Han Solo Echo base outfit, and this one's got the multi-language name pill that's very similar to the Echo base Hoth Soldier. And it's got English, French, Spanish, and I would assume the last one is Portuguese. That's what I believe is on the Hoth Echo base Soldier, so I'm assuming it's the same for the Han Solo. But not one you see very often, an offerless Canadian Han Solo Echo base, and that one sold for $80. He also had some other interesting sales, a Canadian Luke Bespin multi-language name pill with the Boba Fett offer error, and that one sold for $90 with the error for the Canadian Luke Bespin. Here was an offerless Revenge of the Jedi Darth Vader, so this is obviously from the SDCC Death Star box set, which we do have a recent sale for that towards the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. Price has definitely jumped a little bit. Price has definitely jumped based on this last sale for the SDCC Death Star box set. But the Darth Vader from that set was in really good condition. That one sold for $80, really good deal there. And then the last one, I believe, from Power Droid was this Yak Face from the Katana sail barge. And this one sold for $230. And I've seen as prices for this one as low as $175 recently. $230s towards the upper end, but that one did look like a very clean example in all fairness. Next up, some autographs. We had yet another Timothy Zahn signed Grand Admiral Thrawn. And this one did have the JSA certification already. And you can see there next to the card back, you got the JSA certificate, and so that one sold for $150. We talked about in a recent video for the vintage collection, another Timothy Zahn signed Grand Admiral Thrawn that had almost the exact same color as Thrawn's skin. That one sold for $111 in an auction. This one sold in a buy it now situation for $150. Here's one you don't see very often, is where Jeremy Bulloch has signed on a vintage collection. Usually I feel like the Jeremy Bulloch signed Boba Fett's are on the Power of the Force 2 line. But this one did have the rocket firing VCP-03 signed by Jeremy Bulloch, unpunched, really clean example. That one sold for $150, which I thought was a very good deal, just given what an unsigned version can go for. That's not a bad deal at all at $150. This was either a fake sale, or I think it looks legit to me, okay? And if this was a legit sale, this was a steal for somebody. So this one was a miscard Mace Windu on the Attack of the Clones Obi-Wan Kenobi reissue. And you can see there, it's got the clearance price on there on the back. The photos were terrible, which makes me question if it was legit. But looking at the seal, I don't see any issues with it just based on the photo I see here. And, there is like what appears to be like a halo around the blister, but that's normal. That's a normal occurrence for a lot of these vintage collection figures. You oftentimes do see people like on Facebook will show their vintage collection miscards, and they'll say, here it is. And then people will say, that's fake. It's fake. It's got like a weird ring around it. That weird ring is very common. Okay. I've had a number of vintage collection factory error miscards that have been authenticated and graded by the grading companies. and they do have that weird halo around it. So this, I mean, again, I don't know if this is a legit sale or not. It's got a seller that had 35 transactions with 100% positive feedback. If it is a legit sale, though, at $95 free shipping, that seller grossly underpriced this. And this character combination is a common factory, not common, but it is known to exist, where you have Mace Windu on the Obi-Wan reissue. Both of those were reissued in the same wave, to my knowledge. So, and I've seen other legit examples from collectors that I know that collect these factory errors. So to me, somebody got a monster deal if it's legit. It's, you know, the only reason I question it is because there are so few photos and they're kind of weirdly cropped. But you know, to me, if I had seen this and I was into these factory errors, I would have absolutely, you know, rolled the dice on it. But to me, it looks legit. So congrats if you got it. And if you did happen to get it, when you're leaving me a like for this video, if you enjoy my content, leave a comment below and let me know that it came safe and sound and was legit. It looks legit to me, though. So $95 for a factory error miscard is a great deal. Next up, we had another one of those Target exclusive special action figure sets. I don't know why these are so cheap. To me, I feel like there can't be many of these that still exist, where they're still intact and in relatively good shape. But this one was $150 free shipping for this multi-pack. I mean, just the shipping on this has got to be pretty close to that. But once you factor in shipping, eBay sales fees, and things like that, this seller is basically giving them away. I mean, this is a really, really good deal. And I never have understood why these have not gone up in value, other than you don't have the space to show it. I mean, you know, to display it in your collection room. To me, I'm really surprised, because I just think about logically, there can't be that many of them out there. You don't see them pop up that often. And, you know, to get it for $150 or under $150, it seems like a really good deal to me. But that one did sell for $148 free shipping for that 3-pack of 3-packs. What an awesome deal. Next up, this is another interesting one. This is a red bandana Cathaba on the Canadian cardback, unpunched. And it's, as you can see there, again, it's got the multi-language. Now, unlike the Han Solo Echo base, this one just has English, French, and Spanish, to my knowledge there. But that seemed like a really good deal at $100 plus $15 shipping for, you know, a fairly hard to find foreign cardback. Really, really cool example there. Next up, we had the original issue Ahsoka, another one of those sold, $165 on that one, $165. So that one's kind of teetered in that $150 to $200 range. This one looked to be super clean, unpunched US card, original issue VC 102 for $165 plus shipping. A couple more data points like last week for Darth Revan. Some of you have talked about being able to pick up, I think one of y'all commented that in an auction you picked one up for $52. That's the lowest price I've heard in a while. Two other recent sales that just happened. First is this one that sold in an auction for $76 plus $5.85 shipping. And then this one sold $92 free shipping. So about the same price, $85 to, you know, $95. This one did unfortunately have a tear on the back of the card. But even despite that, it sold for a good price. Now, that one has a little stamp of $32,481 on the bottom of the card. And then this one has $32,781. So I don't know if that's noting when it's when this was actually manufactured, but they have slightly different stamps there. I think it's like month, day, year, but in a weird order there. I don't know, but I've always wondered about those stamps on the back of that card. So anyway, that one was a really good deal at $76 plus $5.85 shipping. Next up, I did, you know, briefly want to point out that as I told you guys would happen, the pack-ins for the Ghost are dropping in price. Now, a couple of videos ago, they were going $350 to $385. Now you can get all 4 of the pack-ins for the HasLab Ghost These sold for $275 plus $15 shipping. So let's call that $290, or almost $100 less than where they were going less than a month ago. So just be patient, and I think that you might see them drop even further. $250 would be my target price if you can get it for $250-ish. And then the Ghost, this one had all pack-ins, factory sealed Ghost, plus it also included the robot, Ahsoka, and then Aira Syndulla and Chopper, and it did not include Sabine Wren. But this was a really good deal at $500. Well, I don't know if it's a really good deal, but it was what I think is probably pretty close to fair market value for a mint-in seal. I don't know why they showed Aira Syndulla here when she's packed in with, it's the different card back. That's why. Yeah, that's right. So we got the photo card back, and then, the one that's packed in has the line art version. So this one, to me, it probably should have included the deluxe 2-pack with Sabine and Chopper instead of the photo card back of Aira Syndulla and Chopper, but whatever. Okay, you get 4 extra card backs plus the factory sealed Ghost for $500. It did have $76 shipping, so factor that in as well. Which I still don't know if you can ship this monster for $75. That's probably below what it really would ship for. Some graded items before we talk about the Death Star as well as the Republic gunship. This one was an AFA 9.0 reissue for Admiral Akbar. That one sold for $120. We had the original issue Zam Wessel. This one had the 3-tier grading instead of the modern, 1 through 10 grading. This one had the 3-tier grading, card 90, blister 85, figure 90 for an overall AFA 90 for the VC30 2011 Zam Wessel. $210, very healthy number on that one. Great looking card back, and this one was offerless. There are examples for Zam Wessel with the VCP03 rocket firing Boba Fett, but this one was an offerless, unpunched card back. AFA 90 for $210 plus $6 shipping. We had a punched example of VC34 Jango Fett graded CAS 90. That one sold for $157.55, which I did find another data point for an unpunched, ungraded example that sold for almost the exact same price of $151. So pick your poison there. CAS 90 punched example for $157.55, or an ungraded unpunched example for $151 was a recent sales price. Next up, this was a beauty. This was an AFA 90 plus Target exclusive Boba Fett with the Kenner deco. Straight 90s for the subscores, and it got the 90 plus. I would imagine that that's one of the highest graded with the 3-tier grading for that beautiful vintage Kenner style Boba Fett. That one sold for $215, as it probably should, given the very high grade and the 3-tier grading from AFA. Next up, here is that Republic gunship. It was not perfect, obviously. Still sold for $756. You can see some obvious wear to the box there, but that's another high data point for a factory sealed Toys R Us exclusive Republic gunship. Wow, what a price on that one. And then finally, here is that SDCC Revenge of the Jedi box set. And this is one of the highest prices we've seen in a while. We've seen kind of more like $1,400 to $1,600 for this set. And this one was not perfect. The box was pretty rough. It did have lots of creasing to it. It was complete with all of the desirable items inside. You got the Princess Leia slave outfit. You have the Salacious Crumb, as well as the mouse droid. And wow, what a big number on that one. And I don't know what's going on with this. Well, yeah, I mean, this is just the box, but you can see the box had a major scratch where the Stormtrooper was kind of tucked inside there, but that was not on the card back. But, what I'm trying to get across is that the box itself and the packaging was not in great shape, but still sold in a buy it now situation for $2,000, $19.99 plus $46 shipping. That is a big number and certainly a big jump over recent sales that we've seen for the SDCC Revenge of the Jedi box set. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this look at recent sales for the vintage collection. Don't forget to leave me a like if you did enjoy this video. Thanks again, and I'll be back soon.